Welcome to Loud and Clear, a program geared toward the younger generations. You can listen in every Thursday at 7 p.m. or find the plug to our YouTube channel on kgtcradio.com.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm not Carlos.
And welcome to Loud and Clear. We do not have Carlos with us today.
Rest in peace.
Unfortunately. Yeah, he's not dead. He is he's
very much alive.
He is very busy, a very busy man this week. It's coming up on the holidays. And with work and family, it's just a lot. And so we are here today, which we're going to be this is the week of Christmas. And so Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we're going to be doing kind of a Christmas special fun thing today. Melanie's got some stuff planned, but
if you didn't catch that, hi, I'm Melanie.
Yeah, this is Melanie. This is my wife. She's with me, and we just have some fun stuff for you guys today. So, but before we get into that, if you want to email any questions that you might have to vcfrevivalyouth@gmail.com and put LC in the subject line for Loud and Clear, we can get those questions and answer them, or you can text them to 509-402-3446. I believe that number may have changed, unless it, correct me if I'm wrong, Melanie. No. We were able to save that number.
Mm-hmm. We were worried the number changed, but I believe
we have a number where it's anonymous if you message in, because it's not directly to a phone. It's like through a thing where
like a text app.
It's like a text app thing. So keeps your number anonymous. We don't know exactly who you are or anything like that if you're somebody who knows us. So feel free to message that number, and we'll try to get your questions on here anonymously unless you want to disclose who you are. But anyway, and again, they can be about life. They can be, we're open to silly questions too. But if you want some spiritual advice, guidance, things like that, we'd be happy to answer those questions. And then, okay, so we actually have a little bit of a highlight for ourselves, which kind of works out that it's just you and me today.
Yeah.
So we went to London.
We did.
And it was
England.
Like England. It was a blast. We went everywhere pretty much. I feel like we went everywhere in London. I'm sure there's so much more to explore and see. I mean, it's a huge city.
It is massive.
But it was fun.
We
did definitely I think that I was worried when we got there that we were going to, we would want to see things, or I was like, I didn't know, you never know when you travel if you're going to get sick or if you're just not going to fill up to what you thought you would. But we really pushed, even though we were injured. Our legs were hurt.
So Nathan, the very first day, twisted his ankle.
Yeah.
And we were also wearing boots the whole time, which I was in Doc Martens. They fit very well to my feet. For a lot of walking, that's fine. But the very first day, we went to St. Paul's Cathedral. Yeah. And there was 900 stairs to get to the top. Yes. And we went to the top. And it was incredible, and I don't regret a single moment of it. But I think that was really taxing, wearing boots on our body.
Yeah.
Doing, steps. I think that was dumb.
Yeah.
Walking around in our boots, we probably would have been fine the whole week. But I think the steps killed us. And then because of that, I was a little further behind, but Nathan's right ankle was killing him, and then my left foot started bothering me. So together we were a wonderful pair.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was our I think your boots, your higher up part of your boots, the way it secures around your ankle, if you're twisting off of a street corner or something, or again going up steps, it's easier for it to kick sideways and just twist and injure. Yeah, so that's I think that's what happened, but for me at least. And then it was something else, but it was super fun. We went all over the place. We saw all the Christmas markets that they had to offer. I'm sure there was more, but the ones that I see highlighted, we pretty much hit every single one.
Yes.
So it was really cool. Yeah. So that was fun. We're back now. I'm glad to be back. Mm-hmm. It just feels so disorienting to be somewhere so far away and then be back home. So it was a good time. And did you decide, so your favorite part was the St. Paul's Cathedral that first day?
Yeah, I decided that first day was my favorite. The area where St. Paul's Cathedral is kind of more of what I would say is probably more locals, more the business area. So I feel like the crowd that's there of people was better. Yeah. And it was also just, we were there on a less busy day. There weren't a lot of tourists. It was a lot of locals or local tourists, English tourists that were there. But so that kind of helped a little bit, I think, to set the tone, set the mood for the day. But yeah, St. Paul's Cathedral was for sure, I think, my favorite. And it also just, I went to Germany and I got to experience a lot of that kind of architecture. And so I think for me, like old churches, castles, like that sort of thing is more what I loved the entire trip, but like I think that just really tickled my fancy. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. yeah, as they say.
As they say.
I think that's good. Like I think there's a lot of things that are like the newer things of London.
Yeah.
Like the London Eye is not like super new, but it's like relatively new.
And also just the history is really cool.
Exactly.
Like even Pastor Randy and I were talking about St. Paul's Cathedral and the bombing and sorry, I'm probably not supposed to say that word on YouTube. I just realized that. But and like how part of the building still stood.
Yeah.
And how part of the building was rebuilt.
Repaired,
and anyways, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Really rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And again, there's like stuff like the London Eye, there's like the Shard, there's the Sky Garden, which those things are really cool, but they're relatively new. We were just really there for the history. So we went to explore the old stuff a lot, too.
I'm prepared for someone to ask, like, did you see the U.S. Embassy or whatever? And the answer is no, because it wasn't cool.
Well, it's not cool. I think it's relatively new, and it's like, we saw the Canadian Embassy, which is
That
awesome.
was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. It was an old building. The U.S. Embassy, I think, is a brand new building.
It's like brand spanking new. So we just were like, well, let's not worry about it. It's
interesting. Yeah. So we like to see all the old stuff, which that's what we were taking pictures of. We were taking pictures of random houses because they're just super cool.
Yeah.
And then we went out to the countryside and saw some cottages and like, some old houses that, the church we saw was like 1,000 years old, which was crazy.
It is crazy.
It started being built. I'm sure it's been added on to.
Was that St. Edward's Church?
Yeah, St. Edward's, I think.
So St. Edward's Church, for the geeks in the crowd, has doors on the backside of it that were those doors inspired
Lord of the Rings,
some of the writings of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it's pretty cool.
Pretty rad. Okay, well, Melanie,
yeah.
I don't know, I'm going to ask you right now, do you want me to share what I have first, or do you want to get into what you have?
Either. Mine is probably more so like lighthearted fun.
Okay, well, let's sandwich it. Let's get into some, I'm just going to share some encouragement, and then if you have anything that you want to add in. This is our Christmas episode again, so Merry Christmas, and this is not necessarily like, not really like we want to share encouragement for you, but we're also just going to have some fun stuff. So, so I was reading in Psalms, and this is just some stuff that I felt the Lord laid on my heart to share with you. And so it says in chapter 29, verse 3, the voice of the Lord is over the waters, the glory of the God of glory thunders, the Lord over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks down the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon to skip like a calf, and in Syrian like a wild ox. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all cry glory, and the Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. So I just thought that was like, it's symbolic of, or what the message is here. I think when it says the Lord breaks the cedars, it just, and people can take different contexts and people can take different meanings. You can read the Bible over and over and over again, and God can show you something different every single time. But what I felt like the Lord was saying specifically in this is the Lord breaks the cedars. It's like just his voice and in his presence, God can break things in your life. God can break very strong things that have been there for a long time, whether it be something that you were raised with, something that was put into your heart as a young person, you were kind of conditioned to believe or whatever, or just negative, several negative things. Like God can just begin to break those things. God can completely transform you into a new person simply by being in earshot of his voice, being in his presence. And so I just thought that was super powerful for a young person, because a lot of young people that come into our youth group, they either weren't raised with Jesus, or they had a very poor example, or they came from a life of abuse, or they came from a life of just seeing things they shouldn't have seen as a young person. And if you are that person, you're not too far gone, and I've seen like drug addicts and people that just have like, you would think that person's just too far gone. and then you see where they end up. If they follow Jesus, if they get in the presence of God, God can do so many things in an instant. He can break strongholds in a moment. And it's just showing the power of God here. And I think it's super cool too how it says, the voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth. So that's symbolic. Whenever we talk about birth in the scriptures, we're talking about something coming forth out of your life, fruit coming forth out of your life, whether it be ministry, whether it be, family, literally like giving birth, or whether it be, it can be something that's produced through you. Like maybe it's something that God wants to create, an idea He wants to give you to put into effect for His glory. Maybe it's just simply relationships. Like God wants to do some amazing things, and with His voice, just simply His voice in your life, being the voice of truth that you listen to, that you submit to, there's going to be things that are going to come out of your life. They're going to be birthed through you as a young person, as a young adult, as an older person, whoever's listening to this. Like God's going to be able to do that through you. And I think it's funny how Christmas is Mary giving birth to Jesus, the most valuable fruit in all of eternity, and how, like Mary, God's going to put something in you to then develop, and with His voice, with His power, there's going to be things that are going to come through your life that you didn't expect. And it's not going to be natural. It's going to be supernatural. Just as Jesus was supernatural coming out of Mary, there's going to be things that doesn't make sense. Maybe you are successful when you came from a life that you literally weren't set up for it. Maybe you came from nothing, but somehow God has, blessed you. God has, with His voice, has changed your conscience, changed your work ethic, changed everything in you. And supernaturally, things start to come out of your life that is just powerful. And so God can break things in your life, and then God can also birth things through your life just simply by His voice. Yeah. And so submit to what the Lord has. And I don't know what your opinion is, what your view of church is, but let God break things over your life. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Go to church this next Sunday, and just listen for God's voice. Don't be listening for a man's voice, but God's voice. And listen for that voice of truth, and God can begin to do some powerful things in you supernaturally. So that's just the word that I felt like God laid on my heart today. Melanie, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. No, absolutely. Well, I'm just happy that you're here with me. Aww. And so tomorrow is Christmas. Today, at the time of recording this, it's Christmas Eve. At the time you're hearing this, it's Christmas Day, I believe. No. Yes. Yeah,
no,
Thursday.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
I know we don't usually like to give timestamps on stuff, but we with the craziness of December and our trip and everything, recording was tight. So we are the week of, which is super fun. But anyway, Melanie, I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah. Well, so I'm a special kind of guest because now I'm hosting.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to know, because as I was preparing for this, what we wanted to talk about, I knew you wanted to try and share a little something. So to kind of find a segue to keep it kind of serious, do you feel like the Christmas story, like when you were told the Christmas, because you grew up
You mean like the church. Movie, or you mean like the actual story
of Christmas?
I
mean the actual story of Christmas. Not that.
Sure, yeah.
Not that awful movie.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's actually,
opinion.
I'm sorry.
It's a terrible movie.
You can fight me later at church if you see me, but the Christmas story is terrible.
I'm sorry. I can't stand it. Respect to you if
I watched it one time.
I
will never watch it again.
Yeah. I think everybody should watch it at least one time. But anyways, the Christmas story, the story of Christmas, the story of Jesus. Because you grew up literally in the church.
Yeah, I did.
Do you feel like you took that pretty seriously as a kid? Like, did that resonate with you as a kid, or more so now that you're an adult?
More so now that I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I was a kid, I think that it was just a supplement. Not a supplement, that sounds bad. But it was just something that was paired with Christmas, and I was just like, presents, Sure. And I was like, I had a great experience as a kid, and I don't think that with just my family and everything, and I think that there was a lot of things that I take more seriously now, witnessing pain and witnessing what life can do to people.
Absolutely.
And the powerful truths that are hidden within, not necessarily hidden, but that are just sitting there with the message of Jesus and his birth and the Christmas story.
Yeah.
So I think as a kid, it was like, oh yes, we do this. We do a play, like we do, a thing. And I always knew that it was about Jesus.
It's more the traditions of it, not so much the
absolutely.
actual
Our family
message.
didn't focus too much on Santa, things like
Sure.
that. It was definitely Christ-centered, and we knew why we gave gifts. And like
sometimes as a kid, though, you don't process things. You know, like people around you can be trying their gosh darn best, but like you're just a kid, and you're only going to comprehend so much in a certain way.
Yeah, presents for me, like the Christmas Story and stuff like that, I guess I will say I always relate. Like, it was always significant because, like, when I thought of presents, I didn't think of Santa bringing presents.
Sure.
When I thought of presents, I always thought of the gifts that were given to Jesus in the Christmas Story. And so I always thought that, like, this is why we do this, and it's a powerful thing to, you know, it's a beautiful thing to give each other gifts, and we do that because of that. Yeah. And so I never thought that it was because Santa brought gifts. So it was significant in the sense of, like, I knew why. I knew the story pretty well, but I didn't know the spiritual things underneath.
Sure.
You know, and so until now. So I think it's more powerful now. I think I can preach about it and speak about it and share about it without just, like, it being so, like, I don't know. I guess I thought it was just a fun, lighthearted story when I was little. As to where now I feel like there is just so much more to it.
So I can relate with you.
Yeah.
I feel like the weight of it really didn't start to hit me until I was probably more of a teenager, and I was older and I had experienced more things, but I also had a different upbringing than you.
Yeah.
And not that you didn't experience real tragedy and stuff in your life. I'm not trying to say that. Not that I had a terrible childhood, but I think that my experiences, I had a little bit weightier stuff happen to me at younger ages.
Yeah.
And I will say at a pretty young age, I think I grasped a lot of the depth of what was going on, just because more so of my life experience as a kid. I not to, like, toot my own horn, but I was told a lot. I was wiser than my age. Like I was an older soul as a kid. But my Aunt Anita, who was the pastor's wife, or is currently the pastor's wife of the AG in Riverside, we were always doing Christmas plays and big Christmas things at the church. And my grandma would try to take me as often to church as she could. And especially as I got into, like, preteen, teenagerhood, I was going a lot more frequently. They were picking me up for youth group. She was the youth pastor at the time, and they were picking me up for youth group and stuff. And we would do a lot of Christmas plays, or I would start helping her out in children's church because I was too scared to sit in church by myself. I didn't know anybody. Yeah. So she'd bring me down to children's church, and I became her little helper every once in a while. And there were certain stories that she just told all the time, right? And so she would actually, not even around Christmas time, she would talk about the Christmas story. And from a very early age, she was trying to teach, and I think she did a good job because I sure got it. Yeah. But she was trying to teach the depth of, like, Mary, the inn wasn't full. Mary was turned away. Yeah. They were dirty. They were impure. Like, people didn't want them at the inn. They had an image to uphold. They didn't want them there. It wasn't that the inn was full. It wasn't that there were no rooms available. It was that people did not want to help them. Yeah. They didn't believe them. There was a lot of doubt. And Anita explained to me very well, like, being born in the stable, like, around animal poop and hay, and, like, it's messy, and it, like, that resonates with the transforming power of Jesus. Yeah, definitely. Like, he literally comes into our mess. Yeah, yeah. And that's how he was born. That's how he came into the world. And so I would say that I had a pretty early grasp of it, but I was still just a kid, and it still took a while. I was probably an older kid before I really started getting the hang of it. So I was just curious.
No, and they do it. I know your family does a really good job of that. And I think that I was so afraid when I started preaching it as a even young adult leader into youth pastoring, that it would be a cop-out for a message, around Christmas time, and just be like, oh, it's easy to preach about the Christmas story because I know it so well. Yeah. And so rather than, like, actually digging into the power of it, because I think even in the past few years, I've heard pastor talk about it more in such a deep way. Because I think it can be viewed as a polite story, an easy story to listen to. Nobody has a problem with the baby Jesus. They have a problem with the resurrected Jesus, right? So like, that is where, that's where I think that I struggled preaching about something that was just polite, easy to listen to. Like, I wanted something that would be powerful for people. Yeah. But then God would start to show me, like, there's truths that are there in that story. It's so much more powerful than what we give it credit to. And exactly like the way you were communicated to. That's a powerful truth for somebody that needs Jesus at a young age. Yeah. And so, yeah, no, that's good. But yeah, I would say more so now it's starting to hit me even more.
Well, so not to get a little too controversial, but Christmas can often be seen as a very like a marketing scheme. It's not Christ-like.
Yeah,
whatever.
Absolutely.
And you can dive into that conversation, I think, for hours on end. And definitely. I can counter that argument very well.
Yeah.
Sorry. But what are ways that you think, and you kind of started to say it, like giving gifts, you were communicated as a kid, like getting gifts and giving gifts. It was more like, this is what happened when Jesus was born, and so this is why we do it. I love that. And when we have kids someday, we're going to explain it that way, because I love that. I remember thinking, like, why do we get gifts on Christmas? Like, if it's my parents told me, like, Christmas is to celebrate Jesus's birth. But I did wonder, like, why are gifts important on Christmas if that's what we're doing? So how do you feel about the tree? Obviously we have a tree, so I know you're okay with having a tree, but what do you think of the tree situation and some of people's, like, how people who are feeling like, should I not have a tree? And because some people make a big fuss about it. What are your thoughts on that? No,
and I would have to say that I genuinely would need to research even more so on the tree, just because, like, I mean, I will say, and I can't really give specifics, and I'm sorry, but like with a tree, I've heard both, like, the origins of it that are not biblical and then the origins of it that are biblical. What the tree represents. A tree represents many great things throughout the Bible, and so if you want to whatever. I think that there's things that we really make a big deal. Where I think if Jesus was here in the flesh, he would just say, stop it. He would really just say, like, you are allowing something that is actually, in a way, pointing to me. So a symbol of beauty, a symbol of life, a symbol of something that's, I don't know. I think that it's something that doesn't, we don't worship a tree. And so it's like, it's just, anyway, it's something that's just something fun, that I think that is special, that is symbolic of Christmas, and it doesn't take away from the message of Jesus.
And that's ultimately
again, the way I was communicated to, it related to Jesus. It didn't relate to Santa Claus.
Right.
So, like, that was, like, it depends on the way you present it to your kids, and you do your own research and whatever. But I think also, like, don't rob, I think kids come out of childhood with far more traumatic stories about parents that were worried about things that were just not important. They were just not important at all.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit, and I had a great childhood, but there's just things that, like, there's just things that are just that, like, those. Looking back, it's like that wasn't essential. And it creates more problems than it creates good things.
At the end of the day, it's about the heart. And your position. And your intention. And so if you want to celebrate by having a tree and a star or an angel on top, that's okay.
The enemy would love to get you distracted.
Oh yeah.
The enemy would love to get you distracted with things that like controversial, like conspiracy theories, and like why things mean certain things and blah, blah, blah. Like, the enemy would love to get parents distracted with that versus just simply loving their kids and giving them the message of Jesus, and so
it's a birthday party. Let's have fun, and let's whatever way that is shown. I mean, obviously there are things.
Don't rob your kids of that. And
it's okay to have fun and do some fun things. I think a lot of things that we do, Jesus would honestly laugh at. Like, I think he would also get a kick out of it. And we're made in his image, and we have quite the sense of humor. So just say.
And might I say, this is going to be kind of harsh to like a lot of you teen, like whether you're a teen or whether you're a parent or whatever, and you're listening to this, like, you might think that, giving gifts and blah, 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 like, my kids, like, it just creates chaos, and they're like whatever, and they're just like brats and whatever. It's like, they're not brats because you're giving gifts. There's other things there, like,
it
has nothing to do with the gifts. Like, I've also seen kids that are so gracious giving gifts to each other. And, guys, it's modeled by people around in your circle. So, like, that's what develops personalities, not whether you give gifts or not. So, don't blame Christmas by the way, for how your kids are. Blame the way you address Christmas and have Christmas in your house.
Go off.
Yeah, so it's just, anyway.
Well, I don't want to end on that.
No,
really quick,
yeah,
can
really
I
quick.
ask?
Sure, yes.
What is one Christmas song that doesn't matter what public opinion is, you will never skip it, it's always good?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's hard. Every time somebody asks me for the Christmas song thing,
I'm sorry.
I really don't know what to say.
With this. Well, here's what I'll say. I have a million of them.
Yeah, go
But
for
I
it.
think for me, it's Baby It's Cold Outside. And again, that's another controversial take. Because,
Yeah,
but if
I'll skip that
the
one.
origin of Baby It's Cold Outside, it's cute, it's funny, it's sweet.
Yeah, it's not as weird as what people think it is.
It's not weird like people think. The culture was different back then, okay?
Yes,
She's
it was.
saying she doesn't want to go, and he's saying, yeah, don't go, but that's not proper. It's stormy outside, it's cold, they want to snuggle up there in love, let it happen. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, but for me, I don't think I've ever heard a bad version of Baby It's Cold Outside. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never heard a version where I'm like, ugh, and I turn it off. Like, no matter who's singing it, I usually stop and I listen to it.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the classics, like, name off some classics.
I don't know. It's the Christmas song.
How's
Sleigh
that go?
Ride. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Yeah, that's one that, like, I would say, like, if that comes on, it's the old school, old-timey one. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like some of the new stuff, too.
Yeah.
Anything upbeat.
Man, my current sorry, this isn't upbeat, and we got to stop. But my current favorite right now, just the entire Christmas album that Phil Wickham released in 2024, I think it was 2024, is amazing. I recommend you go listen to it. But every time it comes on, I cry, and it's Oh Christmas Tree, Oh Christmas Tree. That one. I don't remember the exact title of what that song, because everybody titles it different. But the way that Phil tells the story, it makes me cry every time. It gets me every time.
Yeah. Oh Holy Night is great. I usually wouldn't.
Silent Night's been one of my favorite Christmas songs my whole life too.
Yeah. There's some that, like all the fun ones too. Santa Claus is coming to town. Like Run Rudolph Run. That's been one, like, it's just it's upbeat.
It is. Yeah.
Like when
fun.
that comes on, I'm like, yeah. So,
Party.
yeah, it's fun. Anyway.
Well, what a hoot and hollering good time. I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, sorry we got so, like, deep into talk and we didn't even get to some of the fun stuff.
It's okay. Maybe we'll save that for the New Year episode.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and catch us next time on Loud and Clear.
In honor of Carlos, deuce.
Tune in to Loud and Clear every Thursday at 7 p.m. or listen online at kgtcradio.com.